beauties, welcome back to my channel. So you guys, from the title of today's video, you guys already know this is not my normal video, but like I always say on my channel, you guys, this is a beauty channel. Like, it's all around beauty, makeup, fashion, lifestyle, everything. But you know, sometimes I think about it and it's like we're always so focused with beauty when it comes to the outside beauty, but sometimes do we actually take a time to think about the inner beauty? Because I feel like inner beauty is what actually matters. It's not all about this, because at the end of the day, when you put on makeup, you're still going to remove your makeup, wash your face, and by the time you look at yourself on the mirror, you see your real self. Like, you see you without all the glitz and glam, without all the makeup, all the highlights, you know. So I was just thinking, I said, inner beauty is actually going to be a very good topic for us to talk about today. And what actually prompted me to think about this topic is I often get DMs, especially on my Instagram, you guys. A lot of women always DM me with different questions. Sometimes I get like relationship questions, sometimes I get skincare questions, sometimes I get makeup questions. And when it comes to skincare, you guys, a lot of people that always reach out to me are people that have kind of my kind of, you know, skin, my kind of problem, which is acne prone. Majority of the time when I get all these questions from some women, it leaves me wondering, because it's like, from the tone of their messages, you can see sometimes it's like they doubt themselves when it comes to relationships, you know. They always believe that there is no man that will accept them just the way they are, you know, because of the kind of world we are into today. A lot of people so much believe in perfection, the so-called perfection. You have to have big boobies, big butt, 2-inch waist, you know, and all these things. And it's funny how sometimes, even when you get all these artificial things done, the inner you is still not happy. So like, whenever I get questions like that, like people asking me, oh, how did I meet my husband, or oh, how did my husband accept me with my acne, it leaves me wondering. The last one I got was so touching. Like, I'm still going to read the message for you guys, because I asked her, I said, can I add this in the topic I'm planning to film with my husband? And she said, oh yes, go ahead. So I'm going to read her message to you guys. And after I read her DM, you guys, it really, like, I found myself tearing up. I had to talk to her. I was like, babe, can you help me? Let's talk about this topic on my channel, because this is kind of a question I get all the time, like relationship questions, inner beauty. So I asked hubby to join me today. He actually went upstairs to get me a drink, because you guys, it's so hot. We always have to switch off the AC, because once the AC is on, you can't hear nothing. Like, when you're talking, you can barely hear what you're saying. So we always end up turning off the AC whenever we are filming. Jesus, why am I looking so pale, babe?
I have no idea.
Alright, so you guys, he's finally here. Went to get me water.
Hi guys.
Okay, so like I told you guys, I'm going to read the message. And she said, hi, how are you doing? Hope all is well. I have a question I was hoping you could maybe answer in a video. I know that you're happily married and have a wonderful husband, but how did you deal with having acne and dating? I recently met someone I was interested in and thought he's into me. He asked me in our second conversation what my morning face looked like. He said he wants to know what my natural hair and skin looks like. I was insulted and it made me feel insecure. Have you ever had this issue? I only wear foundation because I have dark spots that I feel comfortable covering. So she only has dark spots, babe. Me, I deal with like the real thing. I deal with acne, you guys. Like, if you watch my videos, you already know this is not a new thing. I struggle with acne. And to be honest, the day I got this message, I actually just woke up in the morning. When I saw this message, it really got me thinking. And you guys know I'm currently pregnant. I don't know if I would say it's my hormones, or I just found myself crying, and I called my husband into the room. I was like, I started asking him, I said, babe, you remember, right? I said, yeah. What really made you like when we started dating, what really made you take me the way I was? Because if you guys think I have acne right now, like I don't have acne now compared to how it used to be before I met my husband. And you know, the message I got from the lady, it really got me thinking a lot of things, because it's kind of, sometimes you think about the world we are in today. It's like everybody just wants perfection. Can you imagine the guy, their second conversation, he's asking her to send a picture of her morning face.
Yeah,
her morning face, and also her hair.
Right.
Like in this situation, first of all, when I read the message, I just got angry. I was like, no, this is unacceptable. But then when I asked my husband, I showed my husband the message. He actually came from another perspective. He had another perspective to what I had, and I was like, excuse me, you know what? This is actually going to make a very good dialogue in a video. So, babe, like in a situation like this, what do you really think?
Wow. Well, you know, this is kind of a loaded subject because something like this, you know, there are two sides to it, and not only from a female's perspective or a male's perspective.
Because from a female's perspective, I'm already like angry for the fact that he asked that question. Like I already feel insulted, you know. But from a guy's perspective now.
Well, I think that it depends on the person. It's just like when we first met, she said that, you know, her acne was really bad before she met me, but actually her acne was bad before she met me, and while we got together, we actually used to spend time. I remember after our wedding, we had 2 honeymoons. So our first one had to be a short one because I had to travel out of the country, and so we stayed in Lagos at a hotel, and I think we spent 3 days at the hotel. Right. And that weekend, it was just me and her. The quality time that we had at the hotel, we spent time treating her face, literally picking the acne in her face. that you know, so it was really bad. Her acne was you know, it was cystic acne. Some of the things that we've seen, you know, throughout the journey, and you know, when you see some of the comments and you see over time, because I know the root of everything, like I said, looking at our history and what we've been through, the approach that he took, or the approach and his mindset, really, it all depends on who he is and what he values, so to speak. And also, it's okay. Go ahead.
But in a situation like this, you don't think he's more on the...
Well, before I can judge him, right? What I'm trying to get to is that it's just like what I just said about your acne. Somebody can look at something in passing, like, you know, we live in a surveillance society, and we live in a social society, right? And so everything is short form. You know, Instagram, you see a 2-second video, you judge, you move on. And so what I'm saying in essence is that with him, the way I looked at it when I first heard it, I saw it from both sides. I saw it from an aspect of he may be the type that he wants to know who she truly is before he goes to a third date or a fourth date. He wants to see who, you know, like who she is, if he should continue to go. And at the same time, that also tells her about him if she wants to continue. That's what I mean by two perspectives, because everything that happens, you're able to get a kind of like, you know, you're able to see some foresight out of a situation from both angles. So she's there going on dates, they're both going on dates, he's there for a reason, and whatever his intent is, whether he's at the point where he just wants to date, he's not looking for something, you know, where it's long term, or it could be a situation where, you know, maybe she's trying to find something long term, and she's hoping that there's some sort of connection, so that she can see if this is something that will go that way. Now, with his questioning, it could be that maybe he wants to just know, or he could be shallow, you know, and that's how I looked at it.
But you don't think in our generation now, it's all about that shallow mentality, like the people just want to look a certain way. For some reason, I feel like people don't actually care about the inner beauty these days. It's all about what they can see out here. You know, it's not about who you really are, because at the end of the day, it's all about who you are on the inside. You might be ugly, you might have acne, you might have one eye.
I mean, well, when it comes to that, you know, the thing about it is that there's always, people always see the outside before they see the inside, right? So it's like everything has to be looked at with a balance, because it's like we're in the beauty world, right? And, you know, you guys are known her for beauty, and there's billions of dollars spent annually on the beauty market in this portion of life. Beauty never goes away. You know, it's there from birth to death.
Right.
And what I will say is that you know, most times people actually see the outside before they get a chance to get introduced to the inside. So I think what has to happen is that, you know, I don't look at it from an aspect of judging, you know, or making an opinion of what people should feel, because we all know that true inner beauty is what matters.
Right.
Like, you know, Proverbs 31 talks about the virtuous woman, and it talks about a woman who fears the Lord and a woman who's worthy. And you can have someone who is gorgeous, has all the, you know, like drop dead gorgeous, you know, everything, and she opens up her mouth and everybody hates her. Like, and so, you know what I mean? Like, it speaks. So what I'm saying is that the first inclination is that you will be drawn to her because you'll be like, wow, she's pretty.
Like the physical.
But then when you get to know her, or you get to your first encounter, just in the first few seconds, you'll know if it's someone who is, you know, has inner beauty, or somebody you want to continue with or not. It's a values thing. You know, it's like for me, I knew that she was going to be Omabelle before she became Omabelle, because that's something that God showed me. Now, with my, you know, with people who I would say, let me just say this. With the people that relationships that I've had in the past, I've always treated them with value. I knew that I knew who I was going to end. Like, I knew
the type of person.
Yeah, I had certain criteria, and I knew who would be my wife and who won't be. And so for me, I never had that twisted. I knew in those relationships that I was not going to end up with them, but I still treated them a certain way. So what I'm saying is that even if you feel like you're not going to marry a person or get engaged to them or go to long run with them, there's still a way that you can actually leave that person. Because this is what I feel. A lot of people are left broken. And I think that this is something that we have to be careful with, because what happens basically is that when you're out there and you're out there, you're getting to know people, you're mingling, you have to be careful so that you don't allow yourself to be put in a place where you can get another notch of brokenness added to you. Because this is what happens. You know, people will connect with people, they'll go into either a relationship, whether it's short-term, long-term, and you know, depending on the person, they end up leaving the other person broken. It happens both ways, you know, male and female. And it's a wrong seed to sow, because everything that we're doing in life, we're sowing seeds. You hear people talk about karma. And you know, some of the things in relationships, and all of us have gone through turmoil in relationships. So you always see that something comes back to that person. So what I'm saying is that they always find a way where they get payback for whatever they've done, whatever dirt or things that they've done. So I guess my point basically is that it's good to go along where you're not trying to plant a seed where you might leave someone broken. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. You know, and I think that where you can really deal with this is you have to get to a place where you love yourself. And a lot of times, so this way, because you are gonna, like, I teach my girls this, right? I teach my girls to never park by you know, applause. And I tell her the same thing. People can praise you today, they can, you know, whatever, but it's fine. You're really appreciative of that praise and the fact that they like you, but you don't park by it. Because just the same way that they like you today, they can hate you tomorrow. So what you do is you stay in a position where you're even keeled. So no matter what, you're always cordial. Like Omabelle, she's cool with everybody. You know what I mean? Like because that's something that we've worked on for years, and it was not easy in the beginning. You know, we both don't have relationships with our fathers, and so I've had to I guess I would say probably a part of a father role in your life as well. For real. And I've had to, you know, kind of instill certain things in her. And, you know, when you're compatible, that goes a long way. One thing I see a lot of people, there are several things that people make mistakes on when it comes to relationships. Mm-hmm. Relationships are very delicate. Relationships are things that you don't necessarily play around with. Right. Because people many times I see go into relationships and they're basing it on love. Right. And one of the things that we learned early on was that you can't base relationships on love. Mm-hmm. So our relationship, our bond, our connection is not based on love. No. Our bond is based on commitment. That's something that we learned early on.
That's it.
And what happens is that whether...
No, that love is good though.
No, but love is a part of it.
It's a part of it.
But you have to make sure what is the core. Because
right.
the core foundation of what you need is commitment. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is that there are times and circumstances in life that are going to cause you to shift,
love the person,
and you may not love the person. So, but when you have commitment, that commitment will carry you through. And, of course, we're looking at. This is why I don't think that this is a one video topic.
No, it's not.
Because there's a lot that
something we will need to always like different topics when it comes to inner beauty, because inner beauty is a very broad topic. And also you guys, of course, this is more like a dialogue. I would also like to know what you think, in the comment section. And if you have things you would also like us to talk about, because this is not just something you just sit down and talk about in a video. It's something that has to be ongoing, because I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about more, because the society we are into these days, we are always focused on the outside. What is it on the outside? The slim face, the slim body, the big boobs, the this, the that, and a lot of people will always get caught up in all these things, and we forget that at the end of the day it's all about the inside. Because sometimes people just judge somebody based off of what they can see from the outside and not what the person is about, right?
And also you got to make sure that God is your foundation.
That's it.
Because all the other stuff you need God. You need to have, specifically as you're a woman, you need to make sure that at least you want a man that has a heart that's inclined towards God.
Very true.
Some people maybe have had experiences where there were people who were quote unquote in the church. True. That disappointed or did things that are bad. So I'm not looking at it to say that this is somebody that has to be a pastor. I'm not looking at it. I'm just saying the person doesn't have to be perfect, but you need a person that wants to that has a heart that's inclined towards God, where they want to be, they value a relationship with God. They value the fact that they know they're not perfect, they're working through, but their heart is towards Him, because it makes a big difference when it comes to the choices that they're going to make in life. That especially if they're leading you or they're helping you and they're growing with you, you want to make sure that they're going to be making right choices and doing the right moves that will be a benefit to your family.
Right. And I guess like we said, this is not a one-time video. This is something we have to break down more, and also this is also a dialogue, you guys. If you guys have any inputs, if you have any suggestion, if you have any recommendations, just leave it in the comment section, because it's definitely going to be appreciated. And when next I schedule for a video like this, I'm definitely going to add your suggestions in the video. And I guess that is all there is to this video, you guys. It's really something I wanted to talk about, and I'm so happy, babe, that you joined me in today's video. Thank you so much. And yeah, you guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and please, like always, don't forget to hit that like button below, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And till my next video, I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.